The WNBA is seeing everything change this season. Despite losing the last game to A'ja Wilson, Caitlin Clark broke the WNBA single-season assist record. With 317 assists, Clark surpasses Alyssa Thomas's previous mark, cementing her name in the history books as an extraordinary rookie. But the question hanging in the air is this incredible achievement enough to catapult the Indiana Fever to the top of the league? As the playoffs approach, the formidable Las Vegas Aces loom on the horizon as a monumental challenge. Clark faces not just opponents on the court, but also her own limits. The accumulated fatigue from an intense season, the pressure of technical fouls haunting her, and the imposing shadow of A'ja Wilson. But this is what makes Clark so extraordinary. She's already troubling the league MVP in her first year. When Caitlin entered the WNBA, skeptics questioned whether she could maintain the exceptional level of play she demonstrated in college. Today, we can confidently say she not only maintained it, but elevated her game. Since her debut, Clark has proven to be a transformative force. Her stats speak for themselves: an impressive average of nearly 20 points per game, over 8 assists, and 5 rebounds. Numbers that would make seasoned veterans envious, let alone a rookie. But Clark's impact goes beyond the numbers. She revitalized the Indiana Fever, a team that barely dared to dream of playoffs in previous seasons. Now, thanks to her on-court leadership, the Fever re-emerges as a formidable competitor, ready to surprise the league giants. However, Clark's journey hasn't been all smooth sailing. Adapting to the WNBA's more physical defense presented considerable challenges. There were nights, like that recent first half against the Aces, when shots simply wouldn't fall, games where frustration was evident. But what truly distinguishes Clark is her unwavering resilience. To each obstacle, she responded with renewed determination. Every tough game served as fuel for her growth. This mindset of constant improvement not only solidified her position as team leader, but also inspired her teammates to elevate their own game. The recent matchups against the Las Vegas Aces served as a microcosm of Clark's season, full of brilliance, but also challenges. In the first encounter, an 86-75 loss, Clark posted solid numbers: 16 points, 6 assists. However, her shooting efficiency, just 6 makes on 22 attempts, was below her usual standards. The second game, even tighter, ended with a narrow 78-74 Aces victory. Clark improved her performance, scoring 18 points, dishing out 9 assists, and grabbing 8 rebounds. Yet, something still seemed off. Physical wear was beginning to take its toll. Clark didn't play well in the first half of that game, making it evident that the rookie might be suffering physical fatigue at this end of the regular season. This scenario raises crucial questions about managing her workload and preparing for the imminent playoffs. Moreover, technical fouls have emerged as an additional source of tension. With another technical in the last matchup, Clark dangerously approaches an automatic suspension, a scenario that could be catastrophic for the Fever's playoff aspirations. Despite these setbacks, Clark still managed to make history by breaking the single-season assist record. This feat underscores her exceptionality. Even on days considered bad by her high standards, she continues to redefine the game's limits. So, dear listeners, what do you think? Are we witnessing just a passing phase, or is the accumulated fatigue of the season really affecting Clark's performance? How can she and the Fever adapt to face the challenges awaiting them in the playoffs? While you ponder that, let's dive into some numbers that'll leave you speechless. The Caitlin Clark effect isn't limited to just the courts. It's revolutionizing how the public consumes the WNBA. Get this, in just 3 weeks, 5 of the 10 most-watched games from last season's combined NBA and WNBA on NBA TV involved Caitlin Clark. Yes, you heard that right. A WNBA rookie is outperforming the viewership of some NBA playoff games. To put this in perspective, one of the Fever's games attracted more viewers than Game 5 of the series, between the Miami Heat and Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA playoffs. We're talking about a regular season WNBA game surpassing one of the most exciting moments of the men's playoffs. It's surreal, isn't it? And the most impressive part, not all of these games were basketball masterpieces. Even when Clark and A'ja Wilson had performances below expectations, fans tuned in en masse. This shows that Clark's appeal goes beyond her on-court skills. She's become a cultural phenomenon. The WNBA is gaining unprecedented visibility. It's as if Clark had a magic remote control that tunes viewers into the WNBA. Of course, we can't attribute all this growth solely to Clark. Players like A'ja Wilson are also contributing significantly to elevating the league's profile. But it's undeniable that the Caitlin Clark effect is catalyzing a transformation in how the public perceives and consumes women's basketball. But with all this happening, it's normal that we're seeing a tired Caitlin Clark at this season's end. And who can blame her? Imagine carrying the weight of an entire franchise on your shoulders, not to mention the expectations of a growing league. It's like trying to balance the world of women's basketball in your hands. In recent games, especially against the Aces, it was visible that Clark wasn't 100%. It's like watching a Formula One car trying to maintain speed with an almost empty tank. But here's the dilemma. Clark is the type of player who doesn't ask to come out. Even when she's not feeling well, she wants to be on the court, contributing to the team. It's admirable, no doubt. But it can also be a double-edged sword. And it's not just physical fatigue that's concerning. The mental pressure is immense. Every move Clark makes is analyzed, every mistake amplified. Social media doesn't forgive, and unfortunately, she's been the target of unfair criticism. It's like playing basketball on an emotional minefield. Moreover, we have the issue of technical fouls. Clark is dangerously close to an automatic suspension. This shows that frustration is starting to show through, and controlling emotions on the court will be crucial in the playoffs. Coach Christy Sides has been the target of many discussions among Fever fans. The central point of debate, the management of Caitlin Clark's playing time. Let's look at the facts. Last week, in a game that went to overtime, Clark played all 45 minutes. The main criticism is that Sides seems reluctant to take Clark off the court, even when it's visible that she's tired or not having a good night. On the other hand, Sides defenders argue that in a league as competitive as the WNBA, every minute counts. And with Clark being so crucial to the team's success, the reluctance to take her off the court is understandable. But could this excessive dependence on Clark become a problem in the playoffs? In a best-of-3 series, where games are more intense and frequent, having a rested and 100% Clark could make all the difference. Now let's grab our basketball crystal ball and look to the future. What does destiny hold for Caitlin Clark in the WNBA? After such an impressive debut season, expectations are sky high. In terms of individual development, the sky's the limit for Clark. If she can improve her shooting efficiency and further enhance her defense, we're talking about a potential MVP in the near future. It wouldn't be surprising to see her competing for this award with A'ja Wilson in the coming years. For the Indiana Fever, Clark represents the chance to build a dynasty. With her as the centerpiece, the Fever could become an attractive destination for high-level free agents. From the league's perspective, Clark is already proving to be a transformative force. The viewership numbers we mentioned earlier are just the beginning. If she continues to evolve and dominate, we could see the WNBA's popularity reach new heights. This could mean better TV contracts, more sponsorships, and consequently, better salaries for all players. It's as if Clark were a catalyst for the entire women's basketball industry. And now, we arrive at the climax of our story. Imagine the scenario: Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever against the Las Vegas Aces in the playoffs. On one side, we have the Aces, led by the unstoppable force that is A'ja Wilson. They have the experience, the winning track record, and a roster full of stars. On the other, we have the Fever, a rising team, energized by Clark's magic and motivated to prove they belong among the league's elite. The big question is, will Clark be able to recover in time? Will that much-needed rest between the end of the regular season and the start of the playoffs be enough to recharge her batteries? It's as if she's in a race against time, trying to regain her energy before the final battle. And we can't forget about the technical foul issue. Clark is on thin ice, one technical foul away from a suspension. Imagine the drama if this happens in the middle of a crucial playoff series. The tactical duel between Aces coach Becky Hammon and Fever coach Christy Sides promises to be fascinating. How will Sides utilize Clark? Will we see changes in minute distribution? It's like a high-speed chess game, where every move can decide the fate of the match. And we can't forget the fan factor. The Fever has been playing in front of packed arenas thanks to the Caitlin Clark effect. This support could be the difference maker in tight games. It's like having a sixth player on the court, boosting the team in decisive moments. What did you think of this journey through Caitlin Clark's incredible season? We're facing a possible defining moment in her career and in Fever history. Will we see the birth of a new dynasty, or will the Aces reaffirm their dominance? What do you think about the criticism of Coach Christy Sides regarding the management of Clark's playing time? Leave your predictions in the comments. I want to see everyone participating in this discussion. After all, it's not every day we see a rookie causing such an impact. And hey, if you enjoyed this content and want to stay up to date with all the WNBA analysis and news, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. That way, you won't miss any videos. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.